This meditation is about meditation, which simply means to think deeply about what's going on in your mind, to ponder, to think carefully, to consider something. So what I want you to know is it's extremely important that you become vigilant about what enters into your mind. What you hear and what you think affects how you believe. Most of your battles are won or lost right here in your mind. Your thoughts provide fuel for your words, and your words provide fuel for your world. Think about what you're thinking about. If you do not take control of your inner thoughts, you will become a slave to your outer circumstances. All those things that fill your mind hold the key to your reality. If you do not like where you are one thought away from turning your life toward the life that you desire. Think about what you're thinking about. So I'm challenging you to examine your thought life. Filter out everything that you do not want to show up in your life now and in your future, and focus on what you truly desire. If you want to have life-affirming thoughts, that's thoughts of success and prosperity, then fill your ears with words that produce these things in your life. If you hear something enough over time, it will form a belief, and that belief will produce a corresponding action. For our activity today, I don't want to give you a mantra. I want you to create your own. I want you to develop your own mantra. I'm going to start it, but I need you to finish it. So everyone that's listening, if at all possible, I want you to close your eyes. I want you to think about where you are currently in your life. Then complete this sentence. I will live a life of success because, and you complete the sentence. If you're bold enough, type it in the chat, the completion of your sentence. I will live a life of success because, and you complete the sentence. I want to give you one more. I am getting better and better every day in every way because. What are you going to do to get better and better every day? What are you already doing? Complete that sentence. I want you to take these statements and meditate on them daily. I also want you to add to these statements, with positive affirmations. Your words shape your world. Think about what you're thinking about. Oftentimes I've heard this, and I've even said it, that your life looks like your choices, but your life actually looks like your thoughts, because your thoughts become your choices. So if you're going to change your life, you must change what you think. Your life is a reflection of your most dominant thoughts and meditation. When you make a practice to meditate on success, you will begin to live a successful life. If you want your life to be different, you must dare to think differently. That concludes our meditation for today. I hope it was helpful to you. My last words again to you today. What you put in is what you're going to get out. So whatever you put in your mind is what you're going to get out of your life. Same thing with your body. Whatever you put into your body, your food, that's what you're going to get out. If you're putting in junk food and greasy fried food, that's how your body is going to perform. Think about what you're thinking about so that you can change your life for the better. So that's our meditation for today. I am going to move on in the agenda because I have the pleasure. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Thank you. Okay. I got a little ahead of myself, you guys. I got really excited to get to the meditation, but I did skip over
Yes.
one of our partners. And before I have you introduce our moderator and the panel, Miss Dr. Matthews, I'm going to have Miss Sharoma come on the screen. She is one of the representatives from the Houston Bayou City Alumni Chapter of Gamma Sigma Sigma. It's a service sorority that's doing so many great things here out in our community and across the nation. I know I'm glad to be a member of Gamma Sigma Sigma Houston Bayou City Alumni Chapter. I'm newly a member of it, but one of our thrusts is mental health awareness. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to you, Ms. Sharoma, and I'll allow you to introduce yourself, the organization, and then also share some tips with us about mental health.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for allowing us to be a part of this awesome event. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so we can go ahead and get started. We are, like Val mentioned, a service sorority, and our whole purpose is to give back to our community. We're a national organization founded on the ideals of friendship, service, and equality. So it brings us great pleasure to be able to serve with you guys today. I am a representative, the service vice president of the Houston Bayou City Alumni Chapter, and this month, we are focusing on mental health as a national organization, and here locally, we're supporting different local initiatives. So we are definitely, again, happy to be a part of this. So over the next few moments, I'll be sharing some facts with you guys and just some information that can help us to be better informed about mental health in our communities. So mental health, as you guys know, it's a widespread issue. Here in America, it affects about 1 in 5 adults, and nearly 1 out of 25 adults experience serious mental health issues such as bipolar disorder or schizophrenia. And for about half of those who have chronic mental illness, that it begins at the age of 14. So it's important for us as we focus on mental health to not only think about the adults in our lives, but also the youth that may be experiencing various hardships. Some common mental health conditions, as we all know, there is a wide gamut of mental health. One of the things that we wanted to focus on was PTSD. As we know in our community, there's a lot going on with violence against our brothers and sisters. We're in the middle of a global pandemic. So a lot of people are experiencing PTSD at the moment. And as you guys see here, it affects about 8 million adults in any given year, and it typically follows a violent or disturbing event, as I mentioned those previous. Another popular one is anxiety disorder, which the onset of that can happen around the age of 31. So when you think about, those that are coming out of college, getting into their careers, typically a few years after, that's when a lot of people experience anxiety disorder. So it's important for us to keep that age group in mind as well. And depression, as we're focusing on mental health, we know depression is widespread as well. It affects 18 million adults in any given year. And the ages that typically is the leading cause for disability is between 15 and 44. So not only is it popular, but it's also long lasting. And we know that mental health affects all people from different backgrounds, but the African American community has been disproportionately affected by mental health. As you guys see, we make up about 13% of the population, but about 16% of the American population that identify as African American have been diagnosed with a mental illness. And mental illness in the Black community, just like any community, it can show up in a number of different ways. About 10% of African Americans have experienced serious mental health distress. About 20% are likely to report the distress more than Caucasian Americans. African Americans that are living below the poverty line are 3 times more likely to report. And those who are adults in the African American community are more likely to have feelings of sadness, hopelessness, and worthlessness compared to our Caucasian counterparts. As we know, there are a lot of different things that add to mental health, but of course, in the African American community, racism plays a huge role in it, especially like we mentioned earlier, when you look at the recent events that are happening in our community. That's something that has been specific to us in recent news. So it's affecting our mental health, whether we realize it or not. And seeking treatment, though African Americans are more likely to report mental health, whether it's through doctors' offices or various surveys, this population is less likely to receive treatment for those mental health issues. About 30% of African Americans received treatment last year, compared to the national average of 43%. And as we know, because of programs like this and just different generational practices that we're having in our millennials, these numbers are increasing. However, it is a slow increase. Spiritual practices can be a strong part of a treatment plan. However, it is strongly encouraged that it's paired with professional help, and same with going to your friends and families. Typically in the African American community, we rely a lot on our tribes, which can be an important part in order to have support and reduce isolation. But we have to remember that we need to pair that with professional assistance as well. And as we all know, there are a number of different reasons why African Americans don't get the support that they need, whether it's misinformation about mental health, if we have been misdiagnosed, so we don't seek out the proper treatment, just a lack of information, various socioeconomic factors play a role as well, just basic access to mental health, where we are geographically and how we have transportation and things of that nature can always come into play. And then provider bias always comes into play. So those are various things that we have to look at as potential barriers of why the African American community may not be accessing the treatment that they need. And when it comes specific to women and mental health, there are various issues that women are more likely to have experienced in their lifetime. Women are twice as likely than men to attempt suicide. They're twice as likely to develop depression, anxiety disorders. They're also more likely to experience PTSD that we talked about earlier. And 1 out of 12 women will develop an alcohol dependency within their lifetime. There are various reasons, just like the African American community, that the women community have experienced various things, but we also have mental health conditions that are specific just to us as women, whether it's postpartum depression or prenatal depression. There are various things that our bodies go through specific as women. So we have to make sure that when we're experiencing hormone changes, or if we're experiencing different life events, that we're aware of how that affects our mental health as well. And as everyone knows, we are in the middle of a global pandemic, and it's affecting our mental health again, whether we realize it or not. Unfortunately, a lot of people within ethnic backgrounds are considered essential workers. So they don't necessarily have the opportunity to stay at home, to decompress, in addition to the anxiety of having greater exposure to COVID-19. Studies have shown that 53% of our agricultural workforce identify as being Hispanic, and about 30% of the nurses force consider themselves to be Black or African American. So it's important to know that even though these people have to, go out and work, they're affected by the anxiety of being around this condition, the anxiety of, am I taking this home to my family? There are different things that they experience as well that's specific to them being essential workers. And even with the condition itself, but the things that go around the condition, us being at home for an extended period of time, not being able to have celebrations and things to look forward to, all of that can increase anxiety, stress, depression, and even substance abuse. Unfortunately, during this time, we've had an increase in domestic violence and child abuse, and some of that do relate to untreated mental health conditions. And as we see here, the African American community, about 33% of the counties that was studied across 14 states in America, 33% of the individuals that had COVID-19 in this particular study identified as being non-Hispanic Black. So it's important for us when we're looking at the ratio, we're really second in a ranking of those who are affected by COVID-19 physically. And then again, we do have those mental components attached as well. And here are a few resources. Of course, I know we're going to talk about some throughout this call, but here are a few that have been popular or those who are relatively new. And particularly when we talk about the Black community and when we talk about women of color, these are some resources that can affect us in a positive manner if it's just a weekly podcast that we can listen to from Therapy for Black Girls, or if it's free online counseling from Taraji P. Henson's new initiative, or if we're just interested in possibly talking to someone, we can always talk to someone through the National Alliance of Mental Illness. So these are just a few resources that are available to everyone. And again, we do want to thank you guys for this moment in time, and thank you guys for listening. And we definitely look forward to us continuing to turn our positive community when it comes to mental health in the African American community, as well as us as women. So thank you guys again for your time.
Okay, there. Okay, hello again, everyone. I have the pleasure of introducing our moderator for today. I want to introduce to you Alexis Fly Jones. She is currently a TV producer for KHOU 11's Great Day Houston with Deborah Duncan. Her experience in media and entertainment includes serving as vice president for a public relations firm, working for Music World Entertainment and Guerrilla Tactics Media. As a traveled and sought-after speaker, Alexis has participated as a panelist and moderator while hosting various events for major brands. She is a proud member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated and Top Ladies of Distinction, Inc., serving formerly as the chapter president. She also serves on the board for the Houston Association of Black Journalists. Please help me welcome for today our moderator, the amazing, the talented, the intelligent Alexis Fly Jones.
Dr. Matthews, oh my goodness, that was a beautiful, beautiful introduction. I don't think anybody has done it as great as you. I'm over here like, wow, that was it made me feel really good, which is what we all need to be feeling, because this has been a very, very difficult and painful week. As a mother who is raising a Black son who just turned 5 years old, there are a lot of things that are on my mind, especially with what our community has been dealing with. So this is a perfect time in this month to talk about mental wellness, particularly among our community. And before we get into the questions, I want to turn it over to you all now to introduce yourselves. And we're going to start first with Dr. Deidre Frazier, and then we'll move forward with everybody else in line. And I think you're muted, Dr. Frazier. There you go.
Okay, now I'm on. Thank you for getting me together now. First of all, I just want to thank you guys for allowing me to be part of this. Just listening to what I've heard thus far, I'm just like so excited just to kind of be a part of this empowering event. Everybody seems like, you know, so professional, so intelligent, and I think that we're all going to have something great to offer. So I am Dr. Deidre Frazier. I am a licensed psychologist. I'm also the owner of a private practice called Psychology Works. My office is located in Lake Jackson, Texas. I've been in operation for almost about 6 years now, but I've been a psychologist for about 10 years. I work mostly with children, but pretty much anybody, families, couples, adults. If you want to see me and I can help you, then I'll work with you. And so I love what I do. I have 2 children. I have a 5-year-old son. I have an 8-year-old daughter, and I'm married. And actually today is my 10th anniversary. So I'm spending my 10th anniversary with you guys. And I'm just excited to be here. Thank you guys for having me.
Wonderful. Who would like to go next? Just talk. Throw it out. Throw yourself out there.
Well, good afternoon. I guess I'll just throw myself out there. My name is Dee Foley. I am really excited to be here as well. And as far as my background, I have a bachelor's in psychology, and I want to encourage all of those that may be in college, don't take a break and say you'll go back for grad school, because I graduated from Prairie View in '96. And so, yeah, I haven't gone back to grad school. And I am a first lady of the Mountain Fellowship Church. And I am a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Top Ladies of Distinction. Hi, Sora. And Yeah, oh, there you go. Hi, Sora. And I was there at the chartering for our moderator when she joined Top Ladies of Distinction. And I'm also a member of Gamma Sigma Sigma National Service Sorority. So, again, I'm honored to be here and can't wait to hear from everyone else.
Shout out to all my sister sorors that are on.
Hi, that's right.
Tamara, would you like to introduce yourself next?
Yes, of course. Hi, I'm Tamara Lacey. I am the founder of Secure Your Peace. I am so excited to be on with you ladies. And I just want to share some, interesting things I have going on my site and just give some resources to you guys. And I hope that will help, anyone that's dealing with any mental health issues. So my name is Tamara and I'm happy to be here.
Welcome, Tamara. All right, who would like to go next? Turn your mic on for me.
Okay, can you hear me?
There, we can hear you.
Okay, well, first off, I'm glad to be here with you awesome women. My name is Tashina Calhoun. I'm the founder of One Belief Organization. We're an organization based out of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and we deal with mental health awareness and emotional intelligence, really focusing on social emotional learning, and then educating youth as well as adults how to be emotionally intelligent and just bridging that gap. Because what we find is that we have parents who are not emotionally intelligent raising children to just the same to not be emotionally intelligent. So we really focus on that. Areas that we target, obviously positive affirmations, mindfulness, mindful thinking, and just resolving conflict in positive ways that do not resort in violence. And so just being mindful and making those aware. So I'm glad to be here to serve alongside of you awesome ladies, and thank you for having me.
Excellent. You guys can go ahead and mute your mics. I think we have some feedback coming from someone there. Stephanie, would you like to go next?
Hi, everyone. My name is Stephanie Burrow. I am the founder of Beloved Be Free, a 501c3 nonprofit where I empower young women in their identity and equip them in their purpose. I have an undergrad in communication with the focus in public speaking, and I'm a current master's student pursuing a degree in clinical mental health counseling. And I'm super excited to be here and just be able to converse with you all about this topic. I think it's super important, and I'm excited about everything that this day is going to bring.
Awesome. Great to have you. And I think last but not least, Ms. Lucas, you're up.
Hello, I am Kendria. I started off in education. I was an English teacher for 6 years, loved working with adolescents, saw the need for mental health in our students, which helped me transition into mental health counseling. I'm now licensed as a LPCI, psychotherapist working in private practice and in outpatient services. And I'm also pursuing my PhD in marriage and family therapy with an emphasis on culture and diversity and social justice and a global context, simply meaning that everything that's going on in the world right now, that's what I'm trying to target and study and just understand different our cultural language backgrounds and talk about oppression and, the injustices that we as minorities and Black people face with every day. And so I'm excited to talk and share my knowledge and my expertise with you guys.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, let's get this party started. We're going to go ahead and start with our panel questions because that's what everybody is here for. But before we do that, I just want to give a huge thanks to Microsoft for allowing me to moderate this panel today and to be back with them for a second time in a row. And I'm going to let y'all know I'm very transparent, funny at times. I might give you the whole girlfriend thing. So just roll with me, the whole Black girl thing. I might give it to you. OK. All right. So I want to start with our psychologist, Dr. Deidre Frazier. And this question also will be geared towards Ms. Lucas, because these are psychologists and LP. Ms. Lucas is a licensed professional counselor. So I want to ask you guys, what is the most common misconception of mental health. And I want you guys to answer, and then whoever else is on the panel can chime in. But I want to talk about the misconceptions that African Americans have in our community about mental health, period. Why do some of us just don't think we need to go to a therapist, that God is our only therapist, that we don't need anybody else? I really want you guys to speak to that and into the importance of making sure that the mind is taken care of.
Well, this is Dr. Frazier. I can go ahead and chime in about that one. In my experiences, personally as well as professionally, I feel like one of the most common and most dangerous misconceptions about mental health, particularly with Black people, is that if you have some type of mental illness or, you know, mental like emotional issues, then you're weak or you're soft. And I think that, you know, within our community, just throughout history, since we've been here in this country, we've always had to, you know, be tough and endure like so many different injustices, so many different, you know, hardships and oppressions and things like that. And we are strong people. And so sometimes whenever we are suffering emotionally, we feel like it means that we're weak or we are soft. And sometimes that hinders us from reaching out, that hinders us from even talking to each other, because you don't want another person to perceive you in that way. You don't want to perceive yourself in that way. And so then you just suffer in silence and you just, you know, deal with it on your own.
And to piggyback on what she's saying, I think that one of the most common misconceptions is there's just a lack of understanding of what mental health is. I hear you guys saying mental health illness. First of all, we got to talk about what is mental health. That's our emotional well-being. And from my own personal experience, I've had times where I've been sad, which could lead to depression, where I've been worried, which can lead to anxiety. And, you know, as Black people, like she said, we feel like we're too strong to tell somebody that we're sad. We're too strong to tell somebody that we're worried, and that manifests into something greater than just sadness. And again, going back from our backgrounds of focusing on the church and focusing on our family values, we think that, you know, don't nobody else need to be in our business. Also, there is a history of us getting overly diagnosed, us being overly medicated, and, you know, that scares Black people from even seeking the help.
Wow.
And I just want to chime in one more time. You brought up some great points. And another thing I don't want to miss out too, another misconception is that if you have some type of mental illness or emotional issue, sometimes people might perceive that you are dangerous or violent. And I wanted to mention that too, because I think that's really important on the way that we perceive ourselves and the way that other people perceive us. Just because, you know, there may be, like, you may have a diagnosis, you may be depressed, or you may have anxiety, or even something like schizophrenia that's, you know, not as common. That doesn't mean that you are dangerous. That doesn't mean that you are violent. And there are so many studies and so much research that shows us that individuals with mental health conditions, they're actually more likely to be a victim of violence, as opposed to being the perpetuator of violence. So I really wanted to mention that too, you know, since we brought up those cultural things.
You all mentioned about our community not seeking help for our mental illness or whatever we're dealing with, depression, anxiety, because we try to be strong. During this week, as we know, even a couple of weeks ago, we were dealing with the issue of Ahmaud Arbery and losing him, as well as now we have another hashtag, George Floyd. That's put a lot of people in a mindset of anxiety, depression, worry, anger. You have all kinds of emotions that our entire community is feeling. So I wanted you all to share, how do we navigate through those feelings? Because right now, what are we experiencing? Protests with riots, people burning things down. Not that we haven't seen this before. This is a common reaction to things like this. But as a community, a lot of us are wanting to do something, trying to figure out what we can do to make our situation better. Is there anything we can do? But what can we do to keep our minds in the proper place, if there is such a thing?
I want to give other people on the panel a chance to speak, but if nobody else has anything to say, I'll chime in. But if someone else has something, then go ahead so that I won't take over.
I think you got it.
Okay, well, one of the things I'll just mention quickly and then allow someone else to speak. we really, I feel like it's very healthy for us to be able to express ourselves and to release our emotions in a healthy way. Some of us, we feel so much, we experience so much inside of us silently a lot of times, because again, like, we just don't share. And so we have rage, we have frustration, we have sadness. I mean, our hearts are breaking, literally, our hearts are breaking when we're seeing things like this, and we can feel it so much because we don't only like see it, we actually experience these types of things, and other people are now seeing it, but this is like our real life. And so we just have that connection to it. And so when you have so much emotion inside of you, that's energy that's in there. It's either going to go in or it's going to stay out. So if it goes in, it can manifest itself in, like physical problems, anxieties. You can make yourself sick almost, just like holding in negative emotion, So if we can, just talk, communicate, release some of that energy and some of those emotions out in a healthy way, then I think that's, something that we can do like right away to kind of help ourselves, just deal with the things that we have to deal with.
Thank you, Dr. Frazier. Anybody else want to comment on that?
Yeah, my background is in studying, different cultures and different, languages. And when I say languages, I mean not like Spanish. I mean how we communicate within each other. And the issue that's been for forever is the fact that we don't understand each other as a culture, and that has to come from within. I have to come and I have to say, okay, why are Black people feeling like this? Why are they so upset? And me as a person, I have to do the research. I have to initiate the conversations. And a lot of times we as Black people, we feel like we're the only ones trying to initiate the conversations, and then it backfires on us. And sometimes we're looking for, why can't you do the research? Why can't you want to understand me instead of us trying to understand you? And as unfair as that is, we need to learn how to have those conversations within our community. And I think what we're seeing now in our world is that people are tired. And when you've tried that, and when they say, oh, peacefully, when we try to do things peacefully, this is what you get. Do I support that? No. But I think that there's a need for more conversations within our community. And it starts within your home, within your family. But I can't make families have those conversations. And that's the struggle that we're with.
Amen, sister.
Hi, my name is Dee Foley. I just wanted to add in, I mean, everything that you both have said was perfectly just on target. And it was just, one, we do have to have an outlet and to be able to release, positively, which, that is a thing that for many in our community, and I guess others too, they don't really understand what is considered a positive release or an outlet, and they're like, well, I don't have money to go on this trip. But it can be something as simple as, burning your candles or meditating or breathing or reading. But then also, we have to do something. It's one thing to be, I'm just mad. I just want, this is wrong. Well, we have to do something. If we don't do anything, it won't change. And there are peaceful ways to do things, and a lot of times our community, we're not as informed. I was just trying to find the proper name of there's actually going to be the Poor People's Digital March in Washington, because we march and protest with the social distancing going on. There have been several virtual ones or digital things. So I think it's really about exposure, that information. It's not just one thing, it's a group, it's a lot of things that we need to do, the positive release, and in starting within, just our culture of whether it's our families, our friends, and just, spreading that positivity.
So thank you, Dee, for touching on that, on providing ways for us to actually, like you've all said, to release our feelings and our emotions. I know a lot of times, especially with young Black boys, we have been taught in our families when they are emotional, they can't cry, they can release it, so it comes out in other ways. And I think we need to change that narrative and find ways how, like you said, whether it's lighting a candle, whether it's taking a drive, whether it's doing breathing exercises. I think that's something that needs to be taught within our community, within our culture. And of course, that's going to take time, but it's something that as parents, like you said, we can start in our home first. And so it could carry on for generation to generation on how we handle, how we respond to things. So we talked about how we handle depression, anxiety, these issues that we deal with on a global playing field. But now I want to talk about personal experiences. So I want to throw this question over to Tamara, who's the founder of Secure Your Peace. And I would like for you to share your journey and your story and testimony on something that you went through and how that ended up helping you to create and found your organization.
All right. Well, thank you. So, yes, I created Secure Your Peace. So for a while, I dealt with anxiety. I had heavy anxiety, and I couldn't understand why, because I had never dealt with it before. And I probably started dealing with anxiety, in my late 30s, early 40s. And I couldn't understand why. It just kind of hit me all of a sudden. And so I wanted to figure out what was going on. Like, what was the definition of me having anxiety? How did it all start? And I realized that I was just in fear of the future, of so many things that I didn't have any control over. And so for me, I wanted to, I like to read, so I wanted to always find, if I had a question, I wanted to go somewhere where I can find the answer to it. So I would do all this research, and then I would look for ways to kind of help me kind of not really think about me as being a bad person, like I had a mental issue, like I was going crazy, but I wanted to understand exactly why I was, having those feelings. So one thing I did is that I completely logged off of social media, because I think they give a false narrative of what the world really is. I mean, you see a bunch of snapshots and people's lives, and you think that that's how your life is supposed to be. So I wanted to clear all of those thoughts out of my mind and just kind of start within myself. I read a lot of books. I wanted to understand why I was feeling the way that I felt. I even, I sought out medical help as well. I saw a therapist. And for me, I just kind of wanted to understand why. But the journey to secure your peace, everything that I experienced prior to that is what helped me create Secure Your Peace. So it's just a way. I know sometimes we don't like to talk to family, and sometimes we don't want outside opinions, but if you can have that book that you can read that I remember reading this one book and I said to myself, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I was experiencing, and it made me feel so much better. It made me feel like I wasn't alone, because in order for me to to realize that somebody else felt that way, to actually write those words, it made me feel like, okay, Tim, you're not going crazy, there is someone out there that's like you. And I think Secure Your Peace is just a place where you can go, where there's no judgment of what you're thinking or how you're feeling. And you can find literature there, and you can find hope, and self-empowerment. So that was kind of like my journey to Secure Your Peace.
Thank you, Tamara. And that's a beautiful story of your journey to getting where you are today. And I know you've helped so many people. Is there anybody else on the panel who would like to share a testimony of overcoming or dealing with a mental issue and how you have survived it, or thrived through it, rather?
Well, I know for me, last year I lost my father, and being in a place where you teach mental health awareness to other people, and then having to sit right in front of all the things that you teach, and like, okay, now I'm going through this thing. How am I going to deal with it? It was very unexpected. He found out February 22nd that he had cancer. He told me March 11th. I talked to the doctor March 23rd. The doctor said we had a few more months at best, and 72 hours later, my father was gone. And it was just like, okay. I was like, it just like the floor was just pulled from up under me. So I was in a place of like trying to feel how to sort through my feelings and emotions and understanding everything that I was feeling at that time. And the best thing for me in that moment was to journal. In that moment was to allow myself to feel. In that moment, it was to not bottle those feelings up, like not feel bad for feeling how I felt, because I was just furious. I felt like he was robbed. He didn't have a chance to fight because he was healthy. He was retired military. He was always going to the doctor. It was pancreatic cancer. They say it's the worst one. So it's like, I felt like he didn't have that opportunity. It's like, why did this happen to him? Because he was always healthy. So, I just found myself in this place where I'm like, okay, I'm teaching these things to people, but what am I going to do to take care of me? So in that moment, it was really just allowing myself to explore my feelings, allowing myself to really sit in my thoughts, allowing myself to be vulnerable and understand that I can talk to other people. I think a lot of times, not just within our community, but I will say within the Black community, we don't allow ourselves to be vulnerable.
We lost you, Tashima. I think we lost you. Can't hear you. Can we hear you now? Okay, we'll get back to you and see if we can fix your audio there. But that was a good story, and I thank you for being vulnerable enough to share that. I can relate to that. About 2 years ago, I almost lost my father as well to pneumonia. And it was really scary. I'm a single mom trying to manage, my 3-year-old at the time, and then going back and forth to the hospital because I was the only one that he could, that he had pretty much. And working at the same time at a TV station, trying to make sure that everything is running there. And it was so difficult to try to balance it all, to help my father fight for his life, to take care of my son who also needed me, and to make sure that I held on to my job. And so what I'm hearing from everybody is the importance of having an outlet, of talking to someone. And if anybody gets anything from this today, my hope and my prayer specifically is that you all will take the time to seek the therapist or the psychologist or the counselor that you need. Because one thing was, and I actually have a therapist that I go to, and what's great about it is that this is a person that I can trust because it's in confidence, so they can't go tell my business by law. There's no judgment against me, when I'm giving up these secrets or these desires that I have not shared with anybody. And then it allows me to hear myself talk, hear myself think, hear my thoughts, so I am able to make better decisions on whatever it is that I need to do next. So mental wellness is so important, because when your mind is not right, the rest of your body is not right. So it's really important. It starts in the head. The battlefield is in the mind, as they say. So thank you all for your advice and for your wisdom. I want to move into, when we talk about health, I want to move into COVID-19. Let me tell y'all something. 2020 has been like the year of, I never want to go through it again. I don't even know what this is right now. Like, we started off with Kobe Bryant. That was like a hit, like straight out the gate in 2020. Then it moved into COVID-19 and other things in between. And then your own personal issues in your home or in life. And then it was Ahmaud Arbery, and then it was George Floyd, and who knows what else is going to be coming down the pipeline next. That really is a lot to swallow. It's a lot to take in. And so the question that we have here is, how do you stay sane with the uncertainty and changes of today due to something like the pandemic? I would love to hear from you guys. And I also would like for you guys to touch on children. I know we talked about emotional intelligence as well, but children specifically. I have a 5-year-old who has literally, guys, we've had a couple of times since he was out of school for almost 3 months of breaking down, saying, "Mom, I feel all alone," because he didn't have his little friends to play with. And I'm an adult. I'm trying to play with them, but it's not the same. And just not having that social interaction. So twofold question. How do we cope with the uncertainty as adults? And how do we help our children get through this phase?
Can I chime in?
Yes, please.
So I don't have children, but I just I really feel like maybe for more parents, I'm an aunt. I love all my nieces and nephews, but I think it's very important to remember that the children are grieving right now. Just as though we're grieving a lot of things, they're grieving the loss of not having their friends around. They're grieving the loss of a different schedule, and it may come across, it looks different, but they are grieving, what is transpiring around them. And then to kind of, I guess, tie into your first question, I think that it's very, very important that we try to find things that we can be grateful for. Because what I've learned about pain is that sometimes it can be deceptive in the way that it will try to magnify itself above everything else that is happening around you. And it's like, though we're going through this, though things are really bad right now, I'm sure I still have breath in my body. My family is still protected. I still have a job. You know, you have to kind of shift the way that you think. And so I've noticed that once you shift the atmosphere inside of you, which starts with your mind, then you're able to better cultivate a healthy atmosphere around you. And it benefits the people that you are connected to.
That is so good. So what I'm getting from this discussion so far, I'm taking notes, guys, and I'm going to share this with the people that I know that need it. So number one, we need an outlet. Don't hold it in. Okay, let it out. Figure out what's good for you on how you want to do that. And number two, you want to write down what you're thankful for, what you're grateful for. And that's actually a practice I've been doing because at the end of the day, I believe that even though COVID-19 for some has brought a lot of worry and concern, at the same time, it has brought a lot of opportunity, and you have to see what you can get out of it during this time. Would anybody else like to comment on this?
I would like to chime in. This is Tamara. I think it's important for me. I know, we're in 2020 and everyone has their device, their phone, all the time. So for me, what I did is, you look at the news and you see all these so many things that can give you so much anxiety. And when you've experienced anxiety, you know that feeling and you know what it looks like. And so for me, what I did, just to piggyback off the gratitude, is I set an alarm at 2:00 and I set another alarm at 7:00. And in my alarm, it says, say what you're happy about and what you're grateful for. So I say it out loud. And if it's my husband around, or if it's my daughter around, I say it out loud, whatever it is in that moment that I'm happy for. And, I tell my daughter, I tell my husband, I think it's okay to share, with the people that are around you, because you never know if you're helping them, So I think it's important yes, it's good to write a gratification list every day, but speak it out into existence. So that way, put it into the universe and it can come back to you, is what I believe.
I believe that too. I'm a big follower of the law, as they call it. So if you know Bob Proctor, if you don't know him, for those who in the chat, go look him up. He'll help you. He will help your life. I promise you. You wanted to comment?
Yeah, I wanted to kind of chime in on the conversation. I think that, you spoke about the kids and how we can help the kids. One thing that they might be going through is like adjustment disorder. They might be having problems adjusting to this, and that can be the kids or the adults. And so what does that mean? We have to find a new normal. We have to create new schedules. Kids, if you think about elementary kids who are in school, and middle school kids who go from first period to second period to third period, their days are scheduled. Us as adults, our days were scheduled, and now we find ourselves with so much free time. You can create a schedule within your home just because your mind is used to always having something to do. You can say, I'm gonna wake up at 8 every day, and then I'm gonna work out at 10, and then I'm gonna watch a little TV, And when we speak about coping skills are things that we typically already do, but we stop doing when we're put under pressure or stress. And we need to continue those coping skills and maybe find a new way of doing it. So if one of your coping skills was going to get your nails done, let's go to Walmart and let's get some fingernail polish and let me paint my nails. Yes, that's going to be creating something different, but this is our new normal. And we have to get that mindset like, okay, of course, we all hope that COVID will, just go away and it'll get better. But if it doesn't, how am I going to adjust? And like you said, I definitely agree with the gratitude. Yes, that helps build up, I can get through this. But I would say, especially for kids, let's try helping them find a schedule, keeping them, active.
That's good. Anybody else want to comment?
Can you guys hear me? I know I tried to go. Okay.
We can hear you.
Okay, because it started picking up some extra noise a minute ago. But grateful with the gratitude. I actually have something like on my screen protector in my phone. I did the notes. And so I have it saved as my screen protector to kind of make it mindful to read it intentionally. so that we're reminded constantly of those things throughout the day. And then with the kids, just trying to be sympathetic to them as well. I know when we were children, it was kind of like we were talked to and not with. They didn't speak with us. We were, talk at us or to us, but not have a conversation with us. So just to be mindful of their feelings and emotions and include them and see what it is that they're interested in and make activities that they can do and incorporate these subjects.
Thank you, Tashina. That's awesome. So again, I like people who are viewing this right now to have tangible things to take away whenever you have a conversation. So I'm going to go back over these things that you have all said once again and that I've added to the list. We want to, one, find an outlet. Find something, a hobby, something that makes you happy, something that makes you smile, that can keep your mind occupied. You need to write down what you're grateful for. So show gratitude. Write it and speak it, as Tamara says, because speaking to the universe, so that desire can attract itself to you. Be willing to make adjustments, and just know that things are not going to be the same because they have changed, they have shifted. So maybe you should consider making a schedule, because we're used to being on schedules, but make a schedule in your home. You also said use coping skills. So whether it's going to go get your nails, which I need to go get my nails done now that the nail shop is open, praise the Lord. Get your hair done, and don't tell the people, because I was getting my hair done during this pandemic, but I ain't told y'all, so everybody know now. But that was my way of coping, guys. Don't judge me. And then finally, especially when it comes to your children or your family or anybody that you're around, be sympathetic, because we never know what people are going through in their mind, what they're dealing with. And so it's important that we don't tell people, just get over it. Everybody's going through it. We really need to listen to people and do the best that we can to give them a hug, to give them a word, and to be encouraging to them. So thank you, ladies, so much for your wisdom, for your advice and your feedback. I want to leave out with one additional question, one last question, and that is, what advice do you give to others that suffer from anxiety, FOMO, and I'll let y'all explain what FOMO means, and depression? And also, if there's a loved one or a friend that's also experiencing a mental issue, how can we tell and what should we do? Dr. Fraser, there you go.
I'm sorry again. Thank you for keeping me on track again. I'll go ahead and start with the what advice would you give for someone maybe suffering from anxiety or depression, or even, I think you mentioned FOMO, which fear of missing out. Exactly. The one quick thing that I would say that I think is good for anybody is we need to learn to love and accept ourselves first. We need to fall in love with ourselves first. And the reason why I'm saying that is because the more healthy we are in regard to like our identity, the way that we see ourselves, the more confidence that we have, the more assured that we are in ourselves, the less likely we are to be concerned with what other people think about us. A lot of times when we're thinking about anxiety, fear of missing out, it's always about other people and what they're doing or what they think about me, or am I good enough? Am I pretty enough? You know, if you think you're pretty enough, then you're pretty enough. If you think that you're smart enough, then you're smart enough. If you think that you're worthy, and Dr. Matthews mentioned this before in her meditation, she started us off very well. Just talking about feeding ourselves, you know, that. So confidence kills anxiety. You know, the more secure, you know, that we are, again, the less likely we are to be concerned with what other people think of us. So that's the biggest piece of advice that I can give for that.
That's a whole word. That's a whole word, Doc. I had to write that down. You see, D? Yeah, she wrote it down. Confidence kills, say that again?
Anxiety.
Anxiety. Oh my, that is good. Something that adults even need to make sure that they have, because there's a lot of adults walking around here that are not confident, that their self-esteem is low. And as a parent with my son, I actually learned this from Deborah Duncan herself. I always thought it was so important, and y'all tell me if I'm wrong. I always thought it was so important for a man to be in the home with the son, which I know that it is, because there's things that only a man can teach a son that I can't. But I learned that the son gets the confidence from the mother, which totally surprised me. And so I'm big on trying to make sure that he has all the confidence that he needs. But it's important that we start in our homes with our children as parents, making sure we build that up in them right now and set that foundation, baby. I'm telling you, that's good. Confidence kills anxiety, baby. That'll get you through anything. All right, I had to just get excited.
Another thing I would want to say is really being in tune with yourself, knowing the triggers or things that might set you off so that you can be mindful. And that's like kind of with, relate to that a lot with relationships and recognizing toxic relationships or toxic relationships or situations that might bring anxiety, you know, certain groups of people that we might go around or certain conversations that might bring up anxiety. So being able to know your limits and set boundaries, healthy boundaries for yourself, so you don't find yourself in toxic situations where that is bringing anxiety. And now after the anxiety, you're starting to feel a little depressed and question yourself. So it's being in tune with yourself and recognizing those things that trigger you.
Have confidence and have boundaries. For those who are in the chat, make sure you write that down. Have confidence. Go ahead.
To piggyback off of Tashina, she said recognizing within yourself, that takes being able to identify your emotions. And what we've noticed, like in men and in our young boys, you know, they are taught to not have feelings, to be emotionless. And, you know, we need to identify what we're feeling. There's tons of resources. I like to use one in particular that's called a feelings wheel to help us identify what I'm feeling. Because people typically can, you know, relate to feelings. So, you know, if you say I'm disappointed, I know what it feels like to be disappointed. So when I tell my mom, hey, mom, I'm disappointed, instead of me just saying, oh, I'm angry, because we all have that one emotion that we cling to because it's the only one we know. Some people it's angry. And, you know, we're seeing that right now that we're angry, you know, but it may be deeper. It may be, oh, I'm disappointed. I'm hurt. I'm confused. I'm overwhelmed. We need to identify those feelings, and there has to be someone who we feel safe enough to express that to, so we can talk through those feelings. Because 9 times out of 10, I know you understand how it feels to be overwhelmed. I know you understand how it feels to be sad, to be hurt, to be disappointed. And when we can have those conversations, that frees us from that, again, that depression and anxiety, because I know that someone else understands what I'm coming from. And I think that's what, Tamara, you said you do with your organization, and that's very good. I thank you for that.
And I think that's another reason why it's so important for us to be willing and open to seek a therapist so that we can get to the root issues of things. I know a lot of things actually start in childhood that we've never dealt with that end up playing in our adult lives. And so thank you so much for saying that, because that really is the first step, is getting to the root of the issue of why you're feeling a certain way. Ladies, are there any last words before we close out and move on to our game next? All right, so what we'll do is go ahead and have you all again say what your name is and give your social media handles so that our viewers can go ahead and make sure they follow you. Dee, you want to go first? It looks like you want to go first.
Yes, I'm laughing as my name is Dee Foley, and I have lots of GroupMe. And all of the people that I know say that that's not real social media, but that's all I have.
Whoever like to go next?
Okay, this is Dr. Frazier. You guys can find me from my website, psychologyworkstx.com. That gives information about my office and about some of the things that we do. And so again, psychologyworkstx.com.
I can go next. My name is Tamra. My website is secureyourpeace.com. You can find me on Facebook at Secure Your Peace, and on Instagram at I am Tamra Lacey. So that's I am Tamra Lacey.
And let me also suggest, while you all are giving out your social handles, for you guys who have already stated, go ahead and put it in the chat as well so they can see it visually typed. Go ahead.
Okay. Hey everyone, so I am Stephanie Burrow, and so my Instagram is Stephanie, and I'll put in the chat ___ Alexis. And then my Facebook is Stephanie Alexis Burrow. And then if you want to know more about Beloved Be Free, my nonprofit, that is www.belovedbefree.org.
It's something about those Alexis girls. I mean, hey, what can I say? I love it. All right, Miss Lucas, you want to go next?
Yeah, my name on Facebook is Kendria Lucas. On Instagram, you can find me at CAND Lucas, Candy Lucas. And I work for private practice. If you're looking for a therapist, I specialize in trauma-informed care, children, families, couples. I see them all kind of like Dr. Deidre said. And I work under Jessica Henderson and Associates, and I can give you the information in the chat.
Awesome. Dr. Frazier.
I already went.
You did? Oh, well, Lord, I'm losing my mind. Tashina.
Okay. So on Facebook, I put it in the chat. My personal is TAISHL Baker. On Instagram and Facebook, it's One Belief Organization. And it's just all one word. And then also mental health is great wealth. So that's how you can reach and connect with me.
Awesome, ladies. I think we got everybody now. So if I could get Valerie with Microsoft back on the line, we're going to go ahead and move into our Kahoot game and have an intermission. Now, viewers, please make sure that you stay tuned. We do have an audience Q&A that allows you to ask any questions that you like to our panelists.
Awesome. Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you, Alexis. That was awesome. I really enjoyed hearing the conversation. You guys shared some great nuggets of wisdom, and then just this dialogue is just very important for us to be able to witness. So thank y'all for engaging in that. And like she said, audience, we will be doing a Q&A after. This is just to break up the anatomy of having a regular event and just allow, if you guys need to go get some water, use the restroom, feel free to do so. But then y'all are welcome to play the game as well. Something that our attendees have really been liking for these last few weeks being virtual. And then also there'll be some great prizes for those who win. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. You guys can join on your computer or you can join by phone. The link will pop up as well for you to be able to engage within this game. So it's been really popular. It's called Kahoot. We'll be doing a mental health deck. So just asking questions that you may know, you may guess. And then also, so if you don't know anything, you will be learning something new today as well. So I'm going to get started. I'll give everyone a few minutes to join in. You'll just go to kahoot.it and then you'll enter this pin. So if you do it on your phone, it'll ask you for the pin. And then you want to enter in that 1034496. So I'll give everybody a couple moments, and then I'll also post it in the chat if you guys want to just click on that to open it up. Now, these are some good prizes. They're from Microsoft, so I'm excited for the prizes that y'all can win. We also have another prize for one of those who came in earlier in the chat first. Dr. Keisha Matthews is going to be giving away one of her sessions for you all. So she's sponsoring a giveaway as well. And give it just a couple more moments. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. So if y'all have never played before, a question will appear on the screen, and then you'll have 4 different options, unless it's a true or false, to answer the question that they ask. So you'll see the question appear on the screen, and then you'll select one of those squares, excuse me, to be able to answer the question. If you don't know, do your best choice, your best guess, and then also how the points accrue. The quicker you answer it correctly, the more points you get. In the event multiple people get the same answer correct. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and good luck, guys. Let's see what your knowledge is around mental health. All of the following are mood disorders except red, dysconnotative identity disorder, yellow, dysthymetic disorder, blue, bipolar disorder, green, seasonal affective disorder. Awesome. 2 people got that one correct. It's the dissociative identity disorder. Excuse me for, I know I didn't say that correctly. Okay, so our experts got that one correct. Another name for bipolar disorder is manic depressive, depression, schizophrenia, bulimia. Awesome. A lot of people got that one correct. Okay, and I see D, Alexis, and Tamara on the board. Consumption of large quantities of food followed by purging is which illness? Red, anorexic, yellow, binge eating disorder, blue, bulimia, green, dysthymia. Correct, guys. Bulimia was the correct answer. Suicide is the blank leading cause of death for 15 to 25-year-olds. Is it the first, third, second, or fourth? Suicide is the leading cause of death for 15 to 24-year-olds. The answer was third. I thought it was first too. Okay, Dr. Frazier. True, false. Most people who commit suicide show no signs of their intentions. Correct was false. True or false? LGBTQ youth are, I think that means LGBTQ, youth are less likely to attempt suicide than other heterosexual peers. Is it red, true, blue, false? The answer was false, so they are. What percentage of people who commit suicide have a diagnosable mental illness? Is it red 50%, yellow 90%, blue 75%, or green 30%? The correct answer was yellow 90. Dr. Frazier has a streak with 7 correct answers in a row. Which of the following is not an anxiety disorder? Anorexia, phobic disorders, panic disorders, or OCD? Correct, guys. Anorexia. Which disorder most commonly develops as a result of childhood abuse? Is it red DID, yellow schizophrenia, blue OCD, or green ADD? The correct answer was DID. Which disorder is common among war veterans? Shout out to those who are on the call who fought in the war for us. Was it PTSD, red, blue phobias, yellow seasonal affective disorder, or green generalized anxiety disorder? The correct answer was red, PTSD. Someone who experiences extreme periods of mania and depression would have red PTSD, blue bipolar disorder, yellow hyperarousal disorder, or green HIV. The correct answer was blue bipolar disorder. Panic attacks typically last red 1 hour, blue 10 minutes, yellow 30 minutes, green 5 minutes. The correct answer was yellow 30 minutes. Disorders characterized by persistent feelings of threat or worry are red mood, yellow eating, blue psychotic, green anxiety. The correct answer was green anxiety. Erosion of the teeth and irritation of the esophagus would be health concerns of which disorder? Red anorexia, blue OCD, yellow bulimia, or green binge eating? The correct answer was yellow bulimia. Body dysmorphic disorder has features of eating disorders and red generalized anxiety disorder, yellow PTSD, blue OCD, or green hypochondrias. The correct answer was blue OCD. Okay, 3 more left. True or false? The delusions experienced by those with schizophrenia are the same for everyone. Is it red, true, blue, false? The correct answer was false. Seasonal affective disorder impacts an individual during which time? Red summer, blue spring, yellow winter, green fall. The correct answer is yellow winter. Great job, Joyce. Came all the way up. Okay. All of the following are characteristic of maniac episode except red overactive, yellow aggression, blue improved concentration, or green talkative. It's the last one. All of the following are characteristic of a maniac episode, except. Correct. Answer was improved concentration. So let's see who won. Awesome. Great job, ladies. I'll be emailing Dr. Frazier and Kendria. Joyce, if you can send me an email, I'll post it in the chat for you to be able to claim your prize. And then at the end of the call, we will announce the other two winners for the other Microsoft gift and the giveaway from Dr. Matthews. So I'll give it over to you. Alexis, if we have any questions in the chat, we'll do the Q&A portion here. You guys feel free to ask any questions in the chat if you have them before we close out today. You're on mute. You're on mute. It's okay.
There we go. Thank you for getting me together this time. All right. So for those who are interested, our viewers, in asking any questions, now is the perfect time to do that. So we can ask our experts. And while we're waiting for any questions to come in, were there any last thoughts? First of all, I want to say that game was fun, even though I didn't know anything. I completely in last place.
Valerie, I want to give my gift away. So whoever was, under me or whatever, they can have my gift. Can Valerie hear me?
And if they don't want it, I'll take it.
Okay, I was gonna say the same thing.
I just don't think it was fair just because I am in mental health, so somebody else.
I was number 4, and I would gladly take your gift. Gladly.
I was actually going to say the same thing
Okay.
at the beginning. I didn't know if I was supposed to play or not, but if there's a guest who's joining us, they can freely have mine as well.
Y'all are
so nice. Okay, so we're giving Kendria and Deidre's gift away. Did you just want to pull someone from the let's see who's with us?
and Valerie, can you share what the gift is?
Don't tell me. Don't tell me. She said
So as y'all know, it's Mental Health Awareness Month, and I thought it would be great to give you guys something that will calm everybody down. So one of the gift boxes is some wine, a Wine Me Down gift set, a relaxation gift set with some body wash, some soap and stuff. So like a nice relaxation set and a candle. And then another one of those is just some Microsoft goodies. So a couple of cups, a t-shirt, and a candle. So the either of those.
Or you can pull, Valerie. Put your names in pool, and I don't care.
Okay, I'll just see. Let me see who's on here with us, because I know some people probably are on. Okay, so I'll go based off of who got in here first. We already have Joyce, and Joyce posted her email address in the chat. The first person that was logged on was L. Paul. L. Paul, are you still with us?
She said.
Okay, I got you. And then I'll put wine by your name. Okay.
That's actually my sister.
Also,
I love it.
we also have
Alexis. So yay, I'm glad that she's here. I'm so thankful for her being able to be here and experience this with me. So that's really cool.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for your support. And then the The second person that hopped on the call was Alexis Bird. So are you still on the call?
That's my friend. Yay.
See, that's great. Okay, good. So for our three winners from winning those prizes, it's going to be Joyce, L. Paul, and Alexis Bird. So if y'all want, y'all can post your email. I'll post mine now, so y'all can just email me. That way, y'all can kind of remind me. And then, did anyone have any questions? Feel free to pop in the chat. Any questions you may have. I know you did just mention that you wanted them to share some words, so I'll give it back to you, Alexis.
All good. Thank you, Valerie. People are excited. Joyce is excited about that wine, honey. I totally understand that. So any questions, guys, for all our guests that are in, if you can go ahead and write that in the chat so we can ask our experts. In the meantime, while we're waiting, any last pieces of advice during this time that you all want to give? Anybody? Stephanie, you have something else you were thinking about that you're like, man, I wish I would have said that?
Well, I guess what I would really just say is to really focus in on community. That's something that God has given us. We need the people around us. We need to come together. We need to be able to express how we feel with confidence. And if you don't have that, look into a counselor. If you have insurance, there are a lot of counselors that take insurance. There are ways for you to get help. And as Dr. Deidre talked about earlier, just kind of affirming and stepping into your identity. I just think it's really important to learn how to relax into yourself. Whatever that looks like, however that feels, just learn how to relax into yourself. Be okay with being exactly how you are, who you are. I always tell the young girls when I'm doing my events for my nonprofit that you were created for a purpose and it was on purpose. So just remember that. So I guess that would be my last thought.
I love it. Dr. Matthews, thinking about your affirmations that you gave earlier, can you share those again for those who may have missed it if they weren't on in the beginning? Turn your mic on.
Get me together right now. Okay. So the first one was, I will live a life of success because, and then you complete the statement. I can't give you that. That needs to come from within you. I will live a life of success because. The second one is, I'm getting better and better every day in every way because. What are you doing to contribute to that? You should be getting better and better every day in every way. You are the author. Well, God is the author of your life, but you have to find out what his plan is so that you can walk in your purpose and destiny. So I'm getting better and better every day in every way because what? Complete that statement and then add your own. Speak over your life, declare over your life, decree over your life, speak positively over your life. I promise it will change your life.
That's beautiful. Thank you, Dr. Matthews. We have a question for Sharoma. She says, you guys discussed mental health and youth earlier. I made note of your social media handles and what was discussed. Are there any other tips or resources that would be useful to share with youth in regards to mental wellness, especially young boys?
When we've talked a lot about affirmations. I think that is so important in our youth. We have to speak life into them. We have to speak life into them. So when it comes to young boys, I would say continue to be encouraging to them. I would say ask them questions about their feelings again, because boys are taught, don't cry, don't do this, don't do that. Let's ask them questions about how are you feeling. If you ask a grown man today, how are you feeling? They confused. They don't know how to answer that question because they ain't never been asked that question before. Mm-hmm. So I think that it starts with young boys, letting them know that their feelings are valuable, that their emotions matter. I would say, and continue just be encouraging, speak life into them every single day, especially if you have, I think she did say young Black boy, because they're going to go out into society where that's not going to be the case. So they have to, have that within their home foundation. A lot of moms, I know that we are very, we encourage our boys with that tough love, or like, boy, you better do this, boy, you do that. Let's change our vocabulary. Let's change how we're speaking to them.
That's good. So now I have to ask a question. When you say let's change how we speak to them, I was actually talking to my son's father yesterday in regards to making sure that he stays emotionally intelligent. I find myself getting frustrated and stressed out because I'm working from home, like a lot of other people are doing. My job is very demanding, but at the same time, he's full of energy. He's very energetic. So it's hard for me to entertain him and balance, making sure he gets what he needs, and then me completing my work. And he's just, mommy, mommy, and, you know, in the Zoom meetings and in the background going crazy. And it's just, so I get a little frustrated, and I'm trying to make sure that my response to him when I'm busy is not coming out of frustration. So if y'all have any suggestions, because my thing is I don't want to break his little spirit or his soul and sound like I'm yelling all the time. You know, Black mothers, we take a hit for coming off as yelling a lot, especially to our young boys. So if y'all have any tips for me on to help balance myself out, I would greatly appreciate it. I'm being very transparent right now.
One thing that's very beneficial to kids is compliments. And research shows that specific compliments are very important to kids. When they get to school, and me also coming from a background as a teacher, what we see a lot is we will focus on that negative behavior. We'll like, sit down, do your work, do this, do that. And then the kids that are doing what they're supposed to do, they often get ignored because it's like, oh, you doing what you're supposed to do. I don't have to worry about you. But try it with your kid, especially at a young age. I love how you made up your bed this morning. That and all that little animation and emphasis is very needed. You know, oh my gosh, that bed looks so good. And think about tomorrow, mommy, look how I made up my bed. Because kids, they want to, you know, make you happy. They want to do that. So if you start buying, oh, I love how you just took the dishes to the sink. You're such a big boy. You're so smart. You're so, and that's what I mean by speaking into them. You're so intelligent. You know, as a teacher, one thing that I constantly instilled in my students' mind was, you are a genius. You know, and some of them kids was making 50s. And I'm like, that's okay, genius. You're going to get it right the next time. And you know what he did? The next time they tried harder and they got it right. Teachers come up to me saying, how are you not having a problem with little Johnny? It's because I'm speaking life into them every day. You know, it's okay that you got it wrong, but you're going to get it right the next time. And we got to have that type of, you know, conversation, just implanting those little things. Because believe it or not, they hear you and they grow up into men who put that in their minds that I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough. And they don't know where they come from, but it came from mama, who wasn't meaning it like that.
Just to add on to that, because that was completely everything I would want to say. And the only other part I would add, I taught for almost 15 years middle school math and science. And I always would have some kids that they just do stuff. And I'm like, how? It is not, and I found that it is not easy for everyone to be still. Now, I've gone on sorority trips and I'm in the bed and they're like, is she alive? So maybe what I have found is that if you give them projects, I would have certain things, and I had teachers that they knew, okay, if I send so-and-so to you, just give them the stapler and then tell them to come back. Allow them the time and the ability to get that out, because some kids have extra energy. So it may just simply be, you know, you have the towel in the restroom. Okay, baby, can you go get mommy that blue towel from the restroom? Okay, baby, he's able to, you know, quickly go, okay, I need you to tiptoe and give me the towel. You know, just anything. It's different, and, you know, it's fun. And they're, you know, getting to do something. Okay, now hop like a bunny, because your son is younger, so he'll really probably like the animals or, sure. But even the middle schoolers, you know, they just they thought I was the crazy one anyways, but, you know, it's like, okay, you know, just allowing him to still be himself. And just, you know, again, giving them a positive way to do it. And you even can get some help, you know, tasks. Okay, can you go grab mommy's trash out the bathroom and put it in the big trash? Give them projects. or building stuff. So.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. I'm going to let you guys know how that goes. I'm going to use that effective immediately. I appreciate that. I got my therapy for today. But Miss Lucas, for sure, I have noticed when my tone changes and I do a lot of complimenting and that's a great job, babe. No, I mean, he just eats that up. So, and like you said, giving him projects to get out of his energy, because at the end of the day, my kid he's not that kid that's going to sit down. Very intelligent, but he's not going to sit down. So thank you so much. It looks like we don't have any other questions. So with that being said, we're going to move forward in the agenda, and we're going to have Tamra Lacey do our mental wealth resources. And actually, Dr. Matthews is going to introduce Tamra for that.
Hey, okay. Good afternoon again, everyone. I have the pleasure of reintroducing Mrs. Tamra Lacey, founder of Secure Your Peace, which is a newly created blog and website to help people struggling with anxiety, depression, and loneliness. She started this journey, as she mentioned earlier, after facing trials in her personal life. Her demanding work and frequent travel triggered anxiety that Tamra had never experienced before. To help her understand what was going on, she began to research and read to understand why she was suffering the way that she was. And guys, it absolutely worked, as she mentioned earlier, and she figured out how to control her anxiety. And now she's sharing her knowledge and her resources with others. Secure Your Peace allows people to speak freely in a space where there is absolutely no judgment. It is also a place where you will find books, techniques, articles, and other resources to help you overcome your anxiety, fear, or whatever you're suffering from. The goal is to provide the tools you need to understand and love who you are to a point where you are no longer bound by your fears and are able to enjoy your mental freedom. I will reintroduce to you Mrs. Tamra Lacey, our resource person for today.
Hello, everyone. Again, thank you, Dr. Matthews, for that amazing, introduction of who I am and my site. So everything that she said, I created Secure Your Peace because I was dealing with anxiety. I had to go on a business trip to Austria, and I don't mind flying for 3 or 4 hours, but 9 was a little too much for me, and I was flying there alone. So anxiety kind of started, and it just kind of went from there, and I couldn't understand why I was in that space. So for me, I like she said, I did a lot of research. I read, I looked up articles, I went on different sites, and anything that I could find that had anything to do with anxiety. I even did scriptures to try to find out how I could end the suffering that I was having. So from that space, it kind of fueled me to create Secure Your Peace. Secure Your Peace is just a platform where you can go to just kind of find different literature, or I write a lot, so I blog twice a week, and I have blogs that may give you techniques on how to live in your truth, or to find your superpower, something that separates you from the next person. Like, what is it about you that you can kind of tap into and bring out and appreciate about yourself? I think the big thing is that we have to appreciate who we are. We have to love who we are. And we have to know that even though we have faults, in the past, the things that we may have struggled with, it doesn't deter it's not who you are as a person. You can always change who you are as a person. You just have to be committed to yourself and understand yourself. And so for me, I wanted to be able to just create a space where you can go. I mean, anyone can message me. Anyone can email me. I had a friend that I was speaking with, and she told me she was having a bad day, and I hadn't talked to her in years, but she saw my page, and she followed my page on Facebook, and she told me she was having a bad day, and I just asked her, can I video chat with you? Is it okay if I call you? And she was open to that. And we talked maybe 30, 40 minutes. And when we hung up, we got to the end of that call, she said, she said, Tam, I really appreciate you know, you giving me a call and you talking to me, like, I feel so much better. I'm going to go write in my journal. I'm going to go sit outside and drink some tea or whatever, you know, just anything you can find that you can tap into that makes you feel better. If it's music, if it's, you know, writing, if it's, you know, reading, whatever it is that's going to make you feel better, don't be afraid to tap into that, because that's you learning the core of you. So I think that that's very important. So I'm going to share my screen really quick because I want to show you some literature that I have on my my website. Okay. All right. So as you see, my company name is Secure Your Peace. The website is secureyourpeace.com.
We can't see your screen.
You can't see it?
No.
Is it here?
Be sure that you're sharing your presentation. Okay, there you are.
There you are. Okay, perfect. All righty. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, sorry about that. So my company is Secure Your Peace. The website is secureyourpeace.com. What I do is I list several books that you can, you know, that I actually read that kind of helped me through whatever struggles that I was dealing with. Fear, being able to, you know, reclaim my life, to strip everything away and to reclaim my, you know, my life. There's books on my website about anxiety and depression, that actually workbooks that you can, you know, kind of walk through and answer questions to kind of find out what's really going on inside of you. I think that's very important. The reset is more of a spiritual base, and it helps you connect yourself, you know, with the higher power and find scriptures and things like that to kind of help you if that's the route that you would like to take. Being more assertive, standing up for who you are and what you believe in. I think sometimes we compromise, you know, ourselves in different situations, and we shouldn't do that, because all that does is internally it kind of hurts who we are as a person. It kind of makes you feel like you're not being true to yourself. So I think that that's very important. Also, I want to just kind of throw out there, I have these different national organizations that I have linked to my website. There's numbers that you can call for these different organizations, and it's all confidential. And you can talk to someone about whatever it is that whatever mental illness that you may be going through, you can actually speak to someone. So I think that that's important, because some people feel like, oh my gosh, if I call someone, I give them my name, or, you know, then that's someone else that knows more about me. We tend to want to hide things, and whatever your pace is to reach that goal of you no longer suffering, don't be afraid to take those measures, go there, you know, don't be afraid to just step out, because the one thing that, you know, that is always true is if you don't, then you will always be in that place of suffering. So, and just to remember that you're not alone. So that's one thing that was important for me to know, is that I wasn't alone when I was dealing with my anxiety. So I know people, we mentioned a few giveaways, and I do, of course, want to give a couple of giveaways. Let me stop sharing, just show you a couple of things. So I have on my website, you can see this book that I have, and I want to actually give this book away because I think it's a great book, and it's about strength, and it's different meditations to kind of help you, you know, gain wisdom, power, and balance in your life, and those for the people that want to read and gain knowledge of actually what they're going through. It talks about fear. It talks about reclaiming your life. It talks about just things you go through as a mother, you know, which I think someone touched on that before, like postpartum and things like that. So I just think it's important for us to, you know, just kind of have a resource to kind of go towards as far as, you know, figuring out what's going on within us. So whoever goes to my website and either subscribe or just send me a message, I'm going to put your name I guess you kind of say in a hat a little bit. And I'm going to send you not only this book, but I'm also going to send you a coffee mug with the Secure Your Peace logo on there. And, you know, you never know. You know, we have to help each other. All we have is each other. And if anyone wants to just have somebody to listen to, I'm here. I do not mind talking to anyone. I do not mind listening. And if I can help in any way, I'm definitely here as a vessel for that. So that's Secure Your Peace in a nutshell.
So thank you so much, Tamara Lacey. Again, founder of Secure Your Peace. Make sure you follow her specific instructions and win you something, a good prize there. And I just want to say thank you to all of you all for taking the time out to extend, again, your advice and your wisdom, and most importantly, your knowledge in order to help us get all of our minds right. And it really is awesome when it's coming from people that look like you, that can really speak to our community and really just give us what we need in order to thrive in this particular era. So with that being said, I think now we're going to move into taking our green photos. And so we're asking everyone to come on the camera, turn your cameras on, and we're going to get a series of screenshots via Microsoft. Valerie, would you like to speak on that some more?
Yes, so one thing that I love to do after events, I know Lady D and Keisha knows how that goes. We take lots of pictures, so that makes no difference seeing that we are virtual. So if you guys hop on to your cameras by pressing that camera button, so we can try to get everyone into the screen. I can see 9 people out of a time, so even guests, you guys feel free to hop on your cameras too. I'm going to take a few. I'm taking one on my phone. But I'm going to take some screenshots. So you guys just smile, and then I'll get different pictures of everybody. So make sure that you can see, you can kind of see yourself in the corner. So you may just want to position the sun to hit your face and not be behind you. But we'll take lots of cute photos. So the first one we are going to take now.
I think her computer muted.
I think it froze.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We all froze.
I know, we're all just frozen and out here. Okay, so Valerie, I had that issue too. I got dropped and had to come back on. So I'm sure Valerie will come back on as soon as she can. I'll try to also text her here in a little bit. And I know she's going to close this out. But guys, how did you feel today about being our panelists? I thought you all were amazing.
I thought it was great. I mean, I learned a lot, definitely. And I'm so thankful for everyone that shared. I thought it was a great experience. And you did well yourself. You had some good questions.
Yes.
You know, I have a 6-year-old, so I can understand working from home and trying to navigate through the kids as well. So,
yeah, I had to come from a place of where I am personally and where my mind is, because like we all said, yeah, it's really different. You have to do what you can to adjust. I think sometimes, you know, when you're in these kind of situations, you either choose to sink or swim. And my thing is just, I got to swim and make it to the other side, whatever that takes. So that's just kind of innate in me. But having people like you to talk to and to assist along the way means so much. So let me tell you, I am grateful for today, because if it didn't bless anybody else, it definitely blessed me.
It was a
your
blessing.
moderator today. Yes. Valerie, are you back on yet? I'm on my phone, so it's a little hard to see. Do y'all see her back on?
No. I don't see her.
I'm gonna try text.
Okay, I'm on. I'm not sure what's going on.
Go.
I was talking the whole time, taking pictures. Can y'all hear me?
No.
Yeah, we can't see you.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah, it says your camera's off.
Okay, and it's not even letting me hop on, but I can see you ladies. Everybody looks amazing. So we'll do this again. So if y'all can just smile, and then I'll capture the picture. So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, awesome. Okay, and we'll do one more just to make sure we got it right and everyone's eyes are open. So give me just one moment. And thank y'all so much for doing this. I'm not even sure if y'all heard my whole spiel, but we do love taking photos. So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Awesome, y'all are beautiful. Okay, so I got those photos. And I do know we said we have the giveaways. So those that are left, because I know some had left the event, we have about 6 people here. So to give away the giveaway from Dr. Matthews, did you want to choose someone?
I always have something for them to do, but I just want to say very quickly, I'm giving away a life planning session. By show of hands, because I can see most of you, how many of you have a plan for your life? Okay, great. Most people don't. And so, I think this is a strategic time in our lives where it's time for us to reset. The whole world is shut down so that we can refocus and reset. So I am giving away a life planning session. If you want to start the process of planning for your life, and I mean every area of your life, from your finances to your retirement, to your healthy eating and exercise plan, it's an all-inclusive plan, a holistic plan for your life. So I will give away a free session if you would like that. And the first person to type into the chat box, "I want it," that's who will get it. Go. And let's see who that will be. And panelists, you're included if you, okay. El Paul have all of the gifts today, so congratulations. I am going to type my, I'm going to type my email address into the chat box and we'll communicate outside of this group. So congratulations, you are on your way to a better life, to the life that you dreamed of. Congratulations, and I look forward to meeting with you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Matthews. And El Paul, that's an amazing session that you're going to have. I know she has had breakthroughs with other people that have attended some of her sessions. I'm inspired by her, by a lot of the conversations that we have. So she's an amazing life coach. So you'll greatly benefit that in many aspects of your life. Now, I know, Tamara, you said that you had 2 giveaways. Did you want to choose or do anything to have them win those?
I was asking that they go to my website, but in order to make this very fun and I just want everybody to be happy and kind of feel like they got something from here and not having to go to another place. So I would definitely want to give away this book about strength. I don't know if you can see it clearly, but I definitely want to give away this book because it just helped me so much. And so I would like to share that with anyone. So if anyone here wants this book, just type in "I want it." It's coming your way. I'm gonna put in my email, and you can send me your address, and I'll give it to you shortly.
You did that fast. Great job. Okay, and so for well, we got what you were saying.
I'm way up here, so I really can't see.
And I understood what you were meaning. And so for the last gift that I have on behalf of Microsoft is one of the people that I saw join the event. But for everyone else, it was Kirsten D. Kirsten, are you still with us? I hope they're still there. We'll give you just a moment. Kirsten D, are you still with us? Please type in the chat. let us know to claim your prize. Okay, so I think that person is gone. And I can't get her email. Okay, so I'll go to the next person. And you guys aren't seeing anyone pop up neither, right? Okay. Okay, so that last person that joined on last was Deborah Lacey.
She may be off, but she is my mother-in-law.
Oh,
So I can send it to her. I'll put in the chat her email address.
Oh, okay, cool beans. Okay, so well, you have mine. You can just send me hers via email. But yes, thank y'all so much. I was excited to give some things away just because I know we have anywhere that we can be, things that we can be doing. But I'm glad that you guys were able to tune in with us and benefit from this amazing information. So thank y'all for joining again. It's always a pleasure working with all of you ladies. I know it may have been last minute for some, but I appreciate you guys for sharing your knowledge. Alexis, you're an amazing moderator. I love having you work with us. Everyone are very talented speakers. So this was very encouraging, uplifting, and so well needed and beneficial to us. So I'll be sharing the video. It was recorded, and y'all have a great afternoon. Thank y'all so much.
You do the same. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Hope you have a great day.
Thanks for having us, Val.
Thank you. Coming.